Your brain runs on about 20 watts of power, the same as a dim light bulb, but it burns through 20% of all the oxygen and calories you use every day. Despite being only 2% of your body weight, your brain consumes 260 calories daily just maintaining the electrical signals between neurons, not even counting actual thinking. It generates 12 to 25 watts of electricity continuously and uses 10 times more energy per gram than muscle tissue. And here's the kicker, it can't store backup energy like muscles can, so it requires a constant supply of oxygen and glucose or it starts shutting down. The reason your brain needs all that energy comes down to density. A piece of brain the size of a grain of sand contains 100,000 neurons and maybe a billion synapses, which are the gaps between the neurons where the electrical signals jump from one cell to another. Each of your 86 billion neurons connects to hundreds or thousands of others, creating up to 1 quadrillion total connections. That's why damage to even small amounts of brain tissue can wreck major abilities. Your brain is 60% fat, making it the fattiest organ in your body, and that fat forms the myelin sheaths wrapping around the neuron connections like insulation on electrical wires. The fatty white matter prevents signals from leaking out and interfering with each other, which is crucial when you've got trillions of electrical impulses firing simultaneously. Brain size peaked about 200,000 years ago for humans. Since then, we've lost the equivalent of a tennis ball in mass, and the current thinking blames food shortages, though nobody has a solid working theory yet. The really dramatic growth happened between 800,000 and 200,000 years ago during a period of extreme climate change when brains tripled in size from the chimp-like 400 to 500 milliliters of our ancestors to the modern 1,400 milliliters. But size isn't everything. The round globular shape we have today only appeared between 100,000 and 35,000 years ago. Early Homo sapiens had elongated brain cases, and the parietal and cerebral regions gradually bulged outward over thousands of generations. Einstein's brain only weighed 2.7 pounds, about 10% below the average adult brain weight of 3 pounds. The largest documented human brain belonged to Russian writer Ivan Turgenev. He clocked in at 4.32 pounds. But Einstein's smaller brain had more densely packed neurons, which is what actually drives intelligence. It's not the size, it's the density of the neurons and how they're organized. You can see this across species too. When scientists measure intelligence, they'll start with brain size to body mass ratio, and they find that higher ratios correlate with better problem-solving skills. Crows have brains the size of your thumb, but they're densely packed with folds, and their brain to body ratio hits about 2%, making them more intelligent than sparrows. Since 2008, funding for neuroscience studies has more than doubled from $4.2 billion annually to over $10.5 billion as of 2024. A big driver is the aging population, especially the boomers, living longer and experiencing more age-related brain diseases. An estimated 7.2 million Americans over 65 have Alzheimer's disease in 2025. That's the first time the number exceeded 7 million people. The longer you live past 65, the more likely you are to develop cognitive decline. Part of that 10.5 billion goes towards mapping brains and creating digital brains that function just like human brains, so researchers can develop treatments without testing on actual humans. They've already got machines that can hook up to people and get rudimentary images of what they're thinking about. You might be sitting in court one day with a thing hooked to your head, and they'll be able to see what you really saw on the witness stand.